Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, just as a player. And we will be playing Dark Heresy of Men and Monster with our GM Jay. Last time we had attempted a daring rescue or extraction of a traitorous turned double agent, which had all gone completely tits up and ended up in a bit of a mess, really. Fortunately,
Say that again.
thanks to Magnus's interrogator Latilla making some crack shots on the orbital defences that were firing up at our very small
That
ship.
still only counts as one.
We were able to extract the turncoat, and we were making our way out of system. But before we were able to get underway, we had to deal with the other visitors that had boarded my goddamn ship with him. After taking out the the server genes. I had a word for it last week. I can't
Pipe
remember.
stealers.
That's the one. And a few guards. We were left with Adair. Magnus had sent him to the most pleasant of holding cells, whilst we
B to be precise.
looked over the remains of the battle.
Just to be clear, like, we're stripping him from his power armor, right? He's not keeping that shit.
At the
No, he is not.
moment, Magnus sent him off in his power armor and has given no orders to strip him of said power armor.
He also still has his sword, but he hasn't sheathed. So
We're making poor judgment, is all I'm saying right now.
Oh no,
Magnus,
Latilla would never allow him to stay with his armor and weapons inside his ship. So unless he's
unfortunately,
taken to the
Also-
brig, he has to be stripped down.
The real
Also-
meta question is he life dependent on this armor?
unfortunately,
Can we even
not,
take him?
not as far as you know just yet. But also one of the things that you still noticed is that Olstein is still at cold.
unfortunately, Magnus will be informing everyone that they are not to strip the prisoner that the Lord Inquisitor wants. What he will do, however, is inform the Sons of Electo that their primary duty on board this ship now is to secure the prisoner and ensure that he does not try to escape or leave. They are to guard him at all times with multiple units. They have 100 men. I think 25 men per shift would work well.
The captain believes you might be slightly overdoing it, but you're in charge, so he's not going to bigger about it.
I will add my reasoning is that if we strip him of his armour, one, he could need it for life support. Two, if we strip him of his armour and all of his dignity, he may decide that, fuck it, why should I help if I'm going to be treated like this?
Well, there's always the interrogators.
That's up to the Lord Inquisitor.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't mind sparing one.
So I believe that's kind of where we left it last time. Magnus had briefly noticed that Ulftane was down and unconscious. What do we see as we look upon the battlefield? Like what gear do we see?
What you notice is that these weren't your everyday troopers, so to speak. These were, as far as you could tell, these were not elite core units, but they were also not cannon for the soldiers, despite how easily they fell. What you see is the broken wrecks of two Gene-Stealers combat servitors, the smoldering remains of what appeared to be some sort of officer, as well as 4 dead guardsmen.
So Magnus would order that the Gene Stealer servitors are to be taken to a to the morgue. Let's take them to the morgue. Sister Latilla can then autopsy them. If there's anything useful that can be learned, she can pass on the information, like perhaps taking the blades and giving them to brother Felicia. Perhaps she can do something with them.
Wouldn't that be best that I check them? After all, they are machines.
Of course. Actually, I should be doing this as Magnus. But of course, the armor and any of the equipment that can be reused should be distributed to those who need it among our crew. Magnus looks down at one of the las guns and picks it up. Now, this isn't your After Factorum variety.
You notice it is slightly heavier.
Could I roll Tactica Imperialis to recognize the pattern?
Sure.
Can I roll Imperial Guard?
Sure.
And I'm rolling at my favorite skill, Infuse Knowledge.
Nope. I slept on that lecture.
Not from my regiment. None of the ones that I know. Any of y'all?
Felicia, you recognize the exact pattern of weapons that this is. This is the triplex pattern of lasgun, which includes all the normal standard versions, varieties of firing, but includes one extra setting, specifically designed in it for the guard regiment that most often uses it, which is a special power setting designed to penetrate through power armor.
That's a good eye, Magnus. I believe this would be a triplex. Yes, the number confirms it's a triplex pattern. They were clearly here to destroy someone in power armor.
Well, that would explain it, considering Vidaire was so heavily armed. I think Magnus slips it into his cloak. Well, into his coat. Anyway, I think
it is quite obvious Magnus has something under his coat now.
Oh, clearly he didn't mention that he was going to take it, but he made no pretext about hiding it. Well, if anyone can use any of this to their betterment, by all means, step forwards now. Magnus checks over the body to see if he had any other items on him. You might notice he checks the extra lasgun clip packs.
Yes, so for the Rykone soldiers, the weapons that they bear with them are shotguns, the tripax pattern lasguns, as well as all of them have a combat knife.
And how much ammo? Especially for the lasguns.
For the lasguns, depending on how much they fired, they mostly have like a fourth to a 3/4 or a half of their clips still remaining. Just roll a 1d2 to see if, which one you got with the approximate higher or lower results of that. As well as that all of them carry 2 extra clips of just standard lasgun ammunition. It still uses standard lasgun energy packs, it just is able to expend a lot more of it during a single shot. Okay, so that is the higher estimate, so you get the one that is 3/4 full. So that's 45 out of 60. Also, as for the body of the officer carries with him a chainsword, a flamer, and a las pistol.
Magnus would call this out to Sister
The flamer
Sarah.
is also the flamer has a backpack ammo supply.
So it's a regular full-size flamer.
It's a good thing we didn't shoot this guy in the chest.
No, it's a bad thing because he would go poof in a fireball around his friends.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing we didn't, because don't forget we'd have lost the flame.
You'd have lost a lot of
Technically, we'd
equipment.
only lost the backpack.
No, the flamer explodes.
So I assume we're just looking over the bodies, and then I have the moment of recognition, and I take my refractor field, which is on the medallion off my neck. Felicia, I think it burned away during combat. Can you look and see if you can fix it? I must admit, I grew a bit attached to this piece.
I see. It's been machine spirit's been overworked.
Are you
I
gonna try
will-
to fix it?
I'll attempt to fix it shortly.
Okay.
I'll go and fix it
Thank you,
like once we're done here. I'm not just walking off while we've got to do these steps.
Thank you, Felicia. That's all I ask.
The workload is growing.
I have like an infinite workload if you actually look at the amount of stuff I would get to do. Like, our character, I could bitch and moan about being an interrogator all I want, but let's face it, considering I'm aside from you, I'm de facto head of the Mechanicus here, it'd be like, I refuse to work. Half Mechanicus refuse to work. Just because I'm doing pretty much all the tech stuff we do.
You have
Huh?
several engine seers and a few junior tech priests with you, but
Also,
You need to
and of
learn
course
to
fuck ton
delegate.
of servitors. Fuck ton of servitors.
that Oftain was tipping with a
Yeah, I'm
male
having to go around.
passion.
It's like, Felicia, the toaster broke. Damn it. Send junior tech priest, they can go fix that.
Question,
Okay.
GM.
Into the servitors again. Damn it. I'll go deal with that.
Technically, you don't yet know it was Oftain.
I kind of have suspicions.
GM question: how would we go in our current position about requisitioning stuff? Would it be just like a form, or
You will requisition a standard. Depending on what faction you attempt to gain it from.
I'm gonna tell you what I want to get, and you're gonna tell me which faction I would have to approach.
Okay.
Silver Shield.
Either the Silver Guard, which are nowhere near you, or you're gonna have to approach the Inquisition.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, like, we have some clout with the Silver Guard because we saved their planet.
Yeah, but we have to go back to their planet.
Yeah,
to
I
ask.
know. I think I'm gonna approach the Inquisition, and I am willing to give my Fire Sprite Needler in exchange because I'm never gonna use it anyway.
Wait, why not?
Because I don't have training in it. It's an exotic weapon.
You can get training in it though.
Yeah, but like I don't even think I have a lot of ammo for it. Let me check. Yeah, it's only 4 out of 16. Like I am fully on board with just ditching that for a shield, because I would get more utility from a shield.
Don't get a silver shield.
I will.
Get a power shield.
Dude, silver shield's better.
Depends what you want to use it for.
I mean, the shield is not gonna be broken anyway because I'm never gonna attack with a shield.
What do you mean broken? Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah, like a shattered by a power field. It's never gonna happen because I'm never gonna use my shield offensively.
Brother Felicia would find a little note and a servitor bringing the lasgun triplex with Magnus's old lasgun with a pistol grip on there, saying, "Please change grip over." Smiley face.
Okay. There's a little bit of information about the triplex pattern. Let me quickly look up the stats that I actually wrote down for it.
And any spare triplex are just going to get put into storage.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing with the triplex pattern. If you put it on its full setting, it does 1d10 plus 5, pen 4.
No, I'm not
That's
sure I
tri-
can. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's triplex fuck that thing in particular when it's 1d10 plus 5.
Pen 4.
Which I think is about the same as standard fuck that thing in particular on normal lasguns.
No, the normal las. So I'm writing it down on. So I've got all the things on. A normal lasgun on overload will take you up to 1d10 plus 5 at 2 pen. So you are doubling the pen.
Oh, wait, no, actually, 1d10 plus 6, I forgot one.
Now that's fuck that thing in particular. But yeah, I guess I gotta start making rolls for transferring crap. Let's get the important one out of the way first. I gotta try and fix a conversion field.
Do you know what you need to roll for that?
Yep, it's
Okay.
minus 20 tech use because I already have a plus 10 from thingy. What's it called?
I know what you mean.
It got fixed.
Please roll me 1d5. It takes you 1 hour to fix that, so.
Is Roll20 lagging for anyone else?
No, it lags when I open the page and tries to crash, but only whenever I open the page.
Okay.
Do we have an armory where I can resupply my sniper rifle ammo?
I think that's where requisition tests come in.
I'm afraid,
I mean-
afraid so.
You have an armory that can, for a limited amount, supply you with specialist ammo. AKA specific things like sniper round ammo. Most of the armor is literally just full of las guns and las packs, and grenades. But those are mostly issued to the guardsmen that are with you, so.
Do I need to roll for that, or can I just take 2 clips?
You could just take the clips.
Okay.
Or you could have just
Also-
asked me for one of mine.
Also, what about oath thing? If you see, I remember I rolled a Medicaid test perception last session. Should I roll again because I dropped him off at the med bay and would have given him a physical check to see why he's still passed out, or if he's just passed out.
You can roll one if you want to check.
Okay. My last one was way better, but still passed.
Let's hope I roll well.
That's for percent.
The only thing that appears to be weird about him that you can read off of conventional census is that there's some unusual brain activity going on. You're not exactly sure what happened.
Okay. Scholastic lore infused knowledge wouldn't help here, would it?
You could attempt it, but the information you get from it is limited.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume he's in shock from something. And I'll leave him there and I'll check up on him afterwards.
Now to make a armor -20 roll. God damn it. I spent my last fate point trying to put a clip on Magnus's gun.
Did you refill your? Did you get one phase back for this session already
Yeah,
or not?
I
Okay.
did. That's why it's my last fate point on do I spend it?
I wouldn't spend it on your last. It's a secondary weapon. It's only there for when we're at range.
You know
We
what? I'm
still
just gonna
have-
requisition him a pistol.
We still have quite a lot of session to go. You might want to keep that fate for a clutch.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and requisition a pistol grip. I fucked up one of them. I gotta get another one. That question is,
Do you destroy it if you don't attach it?
I lose the parts which I'd use to attach it. It's why requisitioning mods. If you requisition it yourself, it's fine, but there's a chance of someone fucking up and not being able to use it. You're lucky I didn't fail by 2 degrees, because if the weapon was reliable, the weapon would have lost reliable.
Which just sounds stupid, but DH has some stupid rules on weapon modifications.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna roll requisition -20 to keep a pistol grip.
If I imagine Brother Felicia would inform me that the pistol grip was unable to be transferred over. So, as it's an item for me, do you want me to roll for it?
It's up to you.
I'll roll to acquire the pistol grip. GM, do I get any bonuses if I use the Mechanicus?
Certainly, but you're not at a location that has a Mechanicus Enclave or strong Mechanicus presence. You're currently still in the system with the base that is currently under assault by Gregorius' forces.
I was more going to go to the Mechanicus on the ship and be like, hey buddy, your pistol there. Can you do me a favour and just... No, okay, that's fine. I'll use the Inquisition.
That is more something you'd have to ask Felicia, because Felicia is currently the head of all Mechanicus on your vessel.
I'll
But
just
as
roll.
well as the fact that most of the Mechanicus on your ship aren't actually that heavily armed.
I'll
Most of
just
them are
roll
just basic
flat.
engine seers.
Should I just roll flat influence to see if there is a suitable grip on the ship? Because if I do it through the Inquisition, I still get a +10 because of peer Inquisition. So
It's only a -10 then for getting it.
sure, I'll tell you what. I'll roll it to see if I can get it within the ship, because otherwise we have to wait months for us to get to an Inquisition place to get it. And yeah,
Unless we have a plan, in which case I have to make it while we're flying.
beautiful. Magnus goes into the storeroom, asks the shit. What's he called? I always forget his name.
I mean,
Quartermaster.
I'm just gonna waste it. I was just gonna waste Sacred Unguents getting a pistol grip.
Quartermaster,
no.
have you got a pistol grip aboard this massive ship?
Yes, sir. Probably. Let me check. The man goes hastily into the back of the armory, and just you hear just him not throwing various things about, but moving things about at a very hasty pace. Yeah, so that one. You hear him fall over and then just scramble over again. Yep, the fat one. And he runs up. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. At ease, Quartermaster. Good day. Magnus gets a servitor to take the grip down.
Oh, you don't have to anymore. Because you didn't roll the +30, it's now on your gun.
Sweet. So once has everyone done with their requisitioning and modifying of goods?
No, what I want to what I want to acquire, I don't think I can do that in this ship. Because what I want is a pulse rifle that has been filled by a Jakiro to have accurate.
First thing is, you want a pulse rifle.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
I mean, well, this isn't exactly a heretical item because it's now part of the Imperium. It's just a little bit frowned upon. But yeah.
Are you talking about the Castigator plasma rifle?
No, he's talking about the pulse
No,
rifle.
pulse rifle.
Legit pulse rifle.
I believe
Legit
that's
pulse
Tau.
Yeah,
I know
It's
the
not.
meta, I
Mechanicus
know a
have.
way to get that.
I know the
But
Mechanicus
meta.
have
They are
created
extremely rare.
but I didn't realise there was one in the game.
This-
Yep, enemies
There
without
is-
page 51.
Yeah, there's also an Imperial variation on it that is just not as effective, but it's essentially a tech piece. The one like, huh?
Sentinel plasma rifle.
Yeah, it was like, huh?
See, that's the one I know it as, the Sentinel plasma rifle.
Designed for use with the armor that Felicia would want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was looking at that armour as well, going, would they allow me?
Damn,
Yeah,
the stat. Yeah, the pulse rifle is magnitude better, though, in case of damage.
Yeah, it's much better than the sniper rifle, but the damage
What?
potential of the sniper rifle is still a little bit higher, which is why I wanted to place accurate on this by making a Jakiro fill with it.
So,
Can I?
You can't roll a lot of these things while you're still in this system.
Yeah, we've not left yet.
I know, that's why I've said I can't do jack shit yet.
plus, how does your... Are you just flicking through the Imperial, like, heretical armory catalogue and just like...
Oh no, this is in the
No.
Groot hunting gear table.
Yeah, it's like
This is used by Xeno hunters, basically.
yeah,
No, this is used by
Groot.
Tau, not Xeno hunters.
Xeno hunters get this having killed aliens and picked it up. The Mechanicus don't like this gun.
It's a version seen both in the hands of Xeno hunters and guarded in displays of high nobles. I
So,
know.
here's that kind of equipment
We
is
collect
only in
objects.
one very small sector of the Imperium. That's the only
We
thing
collect
I'm thinking of is...
I mean, technically,
It's
our
extremely
character, we have access to this, because there is an
Exactly.
aim we could pursue. I know which one, but not in character.
There's also another thing. Our order is meant to, acquire artifacts. This is basically an artifact I want.
True.
I
The
Kinda.
Mechanicus has also been known to just randomly hijack Necron shit, and this is low tier compared to him.
I
Yeah.
have something perfect for this.
I just question how your character knows of this particular
I do my job, dude.
item.
I
That's
steal
the
stuff.
only-
And I'm a
I
sniper.
mean, yeah, he does bring a good point. Like, how do you know about this rifle?
I mean, I'm a sniper, and I do spend a lot of time in the library.
With
get me
Xenos,
wrong,
I
don't
don't
get me
think they
wrong.
would have books on Xenos tech.
Once we fight a Tau or a Kroot, you can have their weapon. But until then, I don't think our characters know about that particular nugget of...
I know. I might, because I have a bit more tech. But I look on this thing as heresy.
I'm just
Well,
thinking.
you choose
I'm
to
just
look
thinking
at
this
this
mostly
as
from
heresy.
Forbidden Law Xenas because I have General.
So, yeah, okay.
Anyway, let's actually get going.
It's like the amazingness of the item that you want to acquire. Everyone else is like, yeah, I want a shield, I want a pistol grip, I want a pulse rifle.
Exactly, dude.
I mean, let's be honest.
I want an Animus hammer.
If we were going with what I wanted, I'm rolling for Praetor armor.
GM, I want the anathema blade. The one that stabbed Fulgrim, and the one that fucked over Gilliman. Yeah, the anathema blade.
Yeah, let's not go with. Let's actually get going now.
That's
Yeah,
even worse than me.
Let's stop with the silly for it. Let's dial down silly.
Fair enough. If there isn't any other equipment to be acquired, Magnus would go and see Vidaire.
Okay.
If Magnus permits, I will accompany him because I know that I can effectively shut his psychic down. So
Oh, if you're going to there, I would definitely follow.
Yeah, Magnus would see the problems in going alone. So even with the sons of Electo. Yeah, okay, so he'd let I'm gonna be questioning Vidaire civilly, I might add, but he has tricks like the old man, so any of y'all wanna come along, Sister Sarah, I would appreciate your attendance.
he won't have any tricks when I'm around.
An old man, if you could make an appearance and just let us know.
The old man is still out.
I think Dolphin's
Yeah,
still out.
Magnus didn't know that. He was just like, the old man's alright. Oh, really? Huh. Okay, well, keep me informed. I thought it was just, just the old man being the old man, but...
Yeah, one of the sons of Electo medics has also been called in to see Olstein. He has no idea what happened to him. At least as of yet.
He's out of code. There are a few weird brain waves, but might be shock, might be something else. We do not know.
Well, I'll pray for him when I have my evening drink tonight. Hopefully he'll already be there drinking it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with him, to be fair, so...
Well, keep me informed of his condition if it worsens. I should be at Vidaire's accommodations shortly.
I'll accompany you. Grab special medic kit.
All right. So you make your way down to specifically holding cell B, which is the one that Magnus specified. I'm gonna say that a few days have passed. Now you're currently back again at the edge of the system.
So Magnus, once he's arrived, he'd check on the Sons of Electo, have a low stick and kind of draw out until the rest of the group had time to arrive, or whoever wanted to be here for this.
So there's, as requested, 25 soldiers standing outside. It's the regular soldiers, though, not... there's 2 shield bearers, but the other 23 are just the regular ones. They report that he has done nothing.
He's not even took a shit.
Well, he has done that, but it's basically like he has eaten. He has basically performed all functions that would normally be expected of a human being to stay alive, but he has not said a word. And when they just basically looked through a bit of a camera to see what he was doing, all they've seen him doing so far is sit cross-legged on the floor. with his sword on his knees, essentially.
Sounds like a man who's in repentance, that or about to take his own life.
Oh, probably just super bored.
I would hope it's it's a side bit more than just super bored, sister. But maybe.
I hope it's. No, I hope you're right.
Well, as is Sister Sarah with us? Do I see her
Yes.
walking down the hall?
Hmm. I will purposely position myself that basically I want Vader to be within 5 meters of me. So he cannot perform any of his psychic functions.
So we go up
Okay.
to the door, and Magnus knocks on it, almost as if he's knocking to enter someone's home or it's his, like Vader's personal quarters. And after a second or so, Magnus opens the door. Ah, Vader. Apologies for not stopping by sooner. I had to ensure that we were able to get away properly.
You get no acknowledgement. All he does is slightly raise his head. But he's still wearing his helmet, so all you can see is the faceplate of his mask, sir.
So I've got a question for you. Now, I have been noble in some respects and allowed you to keep that rather fine power armor of yours against the better judgment of my acolytes and my interrogator. Do you need that armor to survive, or is it merely for your protection?
It depends on the situation you would put me through. If you would fire upon me, I would need it to survive.
Very well. That answers one of my questions. The second question is this. What's the state of House Raccoon? Their leadership?
Salvatore himself is confident that he has found a way to permanently split off his own little empire from the rest of the Imperium. I do not know what he is planning. He would not share it even with me. But it sounded deranged. The rest of House Raccoon is in a state of all-out war. One that they are losing. Not as fast as perhaps might have been predicted by your strategists, but losing nonetheless.
Believe me, Vader, the Imperium as a whole sees your master's little coup as nothing but a drop in a mighty ocean. So I wouldn't go thinking that the Raccoons can...
aware of that.
Good. Then you will not cause me, my acolytes, the sons of Electo, or anyone else any problems. You will stay here. You will live as comfortably as one of your rank, more comfortably than one of your rank should be welcome to. And I will do my utmost to ensure my acolytes do not try to gain more information from you. I am only here to transport you to someone higher up than I. So this will probably be our second to last interaction until then.
Very well, Inquisitor. But might I ask politely, the Sons of Electo, where does this name come from?
You will find out. You'll find out fairly soon. But I will give you a hint. They're named after the person who wants you.
Understood. Thank you, Inquisitor. You may leave.
Can I roll scrutiny on when he laughed? Well, when he seemed to notice or know the name Electo. So can I roll scrutiny on that?
Sure.
You may leave. The fuck this guy thinks he is.
No. Oh, sorry, that was on... Well, it doesn't matter, I rolled it with perception, but even with fellowship I wouldn't have passed, so never mind, I can't tell. Yes, yes, I may leave, and by all means you may stay there on the floor. Let me know when your power armor runs out of, well, power. I'll be sure not to get it charged. And Magnus leaves.
Fucking manners, dude.
Very
Jesus.
well. The door is closed behind you, Magnus, by one of the Sons of Electo. None of the Shuber's like, I do not know what it is about that man, but something about him feels off.
Magnus will look at the Son of Electo, and then he'll look round at all the other Sons of Electo. Well, yeah.
He's a striker for one.
That
And he's
we
also
figured
better
out already.
crazy.
We
Unfortunately,
have encountered crazy before, but this is different.
I was informed to
Oh, yeah.
bring him, not to eliminate him. So,
Unfortunately.
he stays as he is.
Oh, in due time, sister. Oh, in due time.
Well, I see no reason to remove him of his power armor, as much as I would like to take away a man's dignity, and he will soon turn
How
on his
long
master.
how long has it been, Jay? A couple of days?
A couple of days, yes.
Does he have a civilian model power armor
Doubt
or
it.
military?
Doubtful.
He has no backpack power supply, if that's what you're wondering. He doesn't.
So he has to charge his armor, unlike our armors.
Also, I'm just gonna point something out at a character. We've got a precedent for what he can do. He doesn't have to have the armor on.
You can just, cast lightning on it, I know. But still, that's right.
No, he can't. As,
I know,
as
I
long
was
as
talking-
I'm around.
You can't be in the room with him all the time. I was referring more to sitting there just with the armor off.
True.
Maybe we could get like a null rod or something.
The last time I saw the Lord Inquisitor, he had 6 Space Marines next to him. This dude is not going to be a problem. No matter how gene enhanced a human is, they're not as quick as an Astartes. So,
Yeah, I still don't like this at all. He could basically just be here to try to assassinate the Lord Inquisitor.
I wish him luck.
Yeah, he can fucking try.
yeah, Yeah, and to be honest, I'm just thinking if we strip him of his armor, strip him of. What if he's just like, no, fuck this, I'll kill myself, or fuck this,
Also,
I'm gonna.
I think
I'm
we're
also going to
giving
point
him.
out it's like an out-of-character thing. You would have had requests from Felicia for that power armor.
Yeah.
You'll have had some politely worded requests that are as close as she can get to pleading without actually pleading. The mechanics are really gonna like some nicely maintained power armor.
To be honest, I think we're giving him far too much leniency. He knows full well that he is a turncoat and a prisoner until otherwise stated.
So
And
Magnus
he'll
is
get
much
out.
further away from the cell, and the Sons of Elector are far behind during this conversation. Yes, but sister, put it in these terms. If I were in his shoes, Emperor forbid that ever even happened. If I were, for you to strip me of my men, my title, my rank, my armor, and my sword, leave me bare, I am going to be less likely to give up the information that I may contain, whereas a man who has been treated with some amount of respect may indeed be willing to give up more. He may see a glimpse at the end of the tunnel. That may be an illusion of his mind, but I feel it would make it easier.
Oh, Magnus.
And if the Lord
seems-
Inquisitor kills him, then we can ask him for his armor. Meh.
I see it on a different light, Magnus. So long as he feels as if he has the power to back down, he will always have a foot on the other side of the door.
Let's be honest, she's gonna see the inside of an interrogation chamber anyway.
I think we should at
And
least take his weapon away from him.
if the Lord Inquisitor's specialists are at least the same as the one that was on Gregorius's ship, I don't think relinquishing any information is something we have to worry about. He will talk one way or another.
One day or another. A man like that may take weeks to break, if he wishes it. I'm hoping this approach will at least give him the idea that he has a future, if he is forthcoming. And it's not my place to decide, it's the Lord Inquisitor's. I have taken, in my eyes, the appropriate precautions. One man in power armor is not, in any way, shape, or form, a problem for 25 men in power armor. An old guard trick. Magnus kind of holds his hand up, and if you cannot acquire better quality, then you master with quantity.
He doesn't have a future. We
But
both
he
know
can
it.
be allowed to think that he does. And of course, once we get within the Lord Inquisitor's system, I will have an astropath inform the Lord Inquisitor of my decisions. He may turn round and inform me that there is no need. That, in fact, I can be as brutal with him as possible. Then we have a week or so to slow the engines and get in real deep and get that armor off him in any way we can. But if he tells us that he wants him in perfect condition and we have already spoiled the goods, well then...
I'm not saying we should get our hands dirty. All I'm saying is that I fail to see the point of this little social dance of yours.
Well, either way, whatever happens next, I just hope we're prepared for it, because I'm sure he has something up his sleeve that we're not going to enjoy.
I'm sure
Well,
he does.
for all we know, he could simply be super infected with, well, I look around.
Infected? Infected with what?
You do remember the gene stealers?
No, Magnus never told me.
No. We did face it out of character. We faced gene stealers, remember?
You know that they can infect people.
You mean
Yeah, you know that.
you mean
That's
he
from the
could
first
be
season.
Okay, sorry, that's my bad.
I'm also loving how you guys are just walking down the corridor saying this.
No, that's why I looked around it to make sure there was no one
One of
around.
them?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Bad if wrong. Fair enough. Sister Latilla, you have full rights to take blood samples and do diagnostics for his health reasons. Use the Sons of Elector as your backup, but if he denies the request, inform him that he will be giving a blood sample, and he will undergo scanning. If Brother Felicia can assist you in that, then by all means.
Thank you. That makes me more comfortable with this current situation. Let's let him sit there for about a few hours before we do that.
Magnus lights a low stick. See, this is why you're my interrogator. Because I overlook things from time to time, and it's good to have someone to remind you about evils you faced before.
Indeed true. I just hope this is enough. I do not like this current situation over there at all, to be honest.
Well, soon we'll be entering the warp, so with the Emperor's light shining on us, we'll have a clear journey. And it shouldn't take us too long before we are back at the Lord Inquisitor's system.
Not. Sarah, I think I'd also like to have you around while I'm taking the samples, just in case.
I don't see a problem with that.
Thank you, sister.
So, after that conversation is finished and everyone's gone their separate ways, Magnus would request that the captain send a message to Gregorius's ship. Not an urgent message, it can just be sent, and whenever Gregorius reads it, just saying, may the Emperor's light be with you, may your battles be won. Signed, Magnus Bloodstone. And I believe our navigator already knows that we're going back to... Oh, well, the captain already knows that we're going back to the Lord Inquisitor's system.
You are indeed returning to S3-Ep4, yes.
Cool. Then Magnus will retire to his study and go through data slates and the big book of evil and other things.
Okay.
After a couple hours have passed, Latilla will call Sarah and Felicia so that she can go, grab samples and scan that there.
Okay. You are led back into his cell.
Yep.
There simply raises his head.
There. If you don't mind, could you stand up? I need to take a few samples from you. And if you don't mind, I'd like Felicia to just give you a small scan. And I smile.
I believe very much that you already know what you were about to find.
Probably.
He stands up
I-
anyway.
So which test is this that I've got to do?
Just scan him for, Xenia's DNA and whatever.
Have I got to do Medicaid perception for this one or tech use?
I think it's a medical scanner, so let's go with Medicaid.
I was thinking, like, does he have a bomb in his chest? But okay.
That too, but
And bonus because Mechadendrite should have scanners in it.
It sounded like fucking Navi.
It was.
I keep telling him
I
not to
for-
listen.
I didn't put in all my other bonuses. I only just remembered about. The superior chirurgeon bonuses.
You know about the DNA structure of the other RICO members, right?
I
We
assume
should.
I've been briefed on this.
we should. Especially since she's the second medic in command.
What the f do you mean second medic in command? I'm the head chirurgeon in the Mechanicus section.
Yeah, sure.
It's actually quite an important role there because you don't know how to install implants.
Eh,
You don't
Fuck,
have.
now I'm,
you
I'm
need-
feeling out of the loop now.
Yeah, in all fairness though, I am. It would be like without tech, you don't actually know how to install implants, which means I'm the head of installing them.
It'd be one of those. It'd be one of those where Magnus would have delegated a need-to-know basis, and at the current time, he needed the interrogator to know. So yeah, if she feels that, I mean, out of all of you, you're allowed to know. It's just. not
yeah,
letting it
you'd
spread
have
too
the
far.
samples from the members of the House Raycon,
If
just so
not,
you can compare it to. Besides, I do believe you were scanning the alone far before her.
it
far
wouldn't carry the
before
way because I
me, even.
already. Yeah, I already. On top of that, I already have gene stealer DNA samples. I have one technically round my belt permanently at the moment.
Yeah, the thing is, the RICO DNA structure is not identical to Gene Stealer cultist DNA.
Oh no, I have the. Don't forget, I have the actual
Anyway.
correct sample to gene stealer DNA.
I would
Yeah.
have made sure you'd have the sample in their case, because although this is a need to know basis, this is something you should probably know.
There is a degree of the modification that shows up in his DNA, but not to the same extent of the assassin or even a loner. What you get back is that actually under the power armor, most of his limbs are when you switch to like a identification for metals, that most of that is actually adamantium cybernetics underneath that.
God damn it, I want to cut this guy apart now. I want those cybernetics.
I'm pretty sure we can petition Lord Inquisitor for the spare parts.
That's what
And
Magnus is thinking now, and he doesn't even know. He's sat in his office like, upgrades.
Jesus.
Once the whole thing,
Any,
I'll write a report then. It's at the end.
any surprises under that suit we should look after?
You also notice a very anomalous sort of power signature, but you're not sure what is originating, where it is originating from, or what is causing it.
Can I do an auger scan?
Sure. You do not figure out where it's from. Or you know that it is somewhere in between Vader's heart and brain.
Unknown implant. He's mostly clean.
Unknown implant? Okay. The Tilly is going to do the, regular medic of nowadays. But could you look this way, stick your tongue out and say ah, raise your left hand up, right hand up,
Should I
left hand
not
up,
first
right
take
hand
off
up.
my helmet for that?
Totally mechanic is just thinking. These methods don't work. You should get a mecha dendrite.
Yeah, but that's because you're not
Intently.
thinking ahead. But I'm not. I don't want you to. I'm not gonna leave you without your armor. But would you mind just removing your helmet? Let me show you. Look at this and that. I'm doing the physical exam, and I'm basically trying to make him strip down while I'm doing it to check him.
Okay, so what he
Cough.
does is he reaches his hand up to his faceplate, and you can hear just a bit of a depressurizing sound as he takes it away from his face.
Okay.
And what you see is a face that is just covered in scars, like literally covered.
I was expecting a face that not even mother could love.
So his scars have scars.
Mostly, the only things that appear to be unscarred to any degree are like his mouth and his eyes. He doesn't even have eyebrows anymore. They appear to have been burned off at some point.
Interesting. I'm gonna keep doing the exam. I'm gonna ask him to remove his chest plate. I'll assist him if he needs to. I'm gonna keep stripping him down, but I'm gonna make sure he can keep all of his armor afterwards.
He would require assistance to take his armor off, yes. It appears to be
I'd ask Felicia
strangely
to help with that.
tied to him.
I'll
As in,
ask
the
Felicia.
armor almost appears to resist being taken off.
Interesting.
Extend hand, cup, Vidair cough.
But you also notice now that his chest doesn't rise or fall when he breathes.
He's basically a machine under there. He's
How
probably
much
a
chrome
necron.
is in that guy?
He's
Not
probably
enough.
a necron with flash suit.
There's not enough chrome.
Oh, you're one of those tech priests.
No, it's just the chrome, as you put it, its organs work better than the originals.
Until you get an EMP to the face, but
Then
details.
you walk out of the haywire field.
Yeah, you can't if all of your extremities are machine.
If you're in battle, technically in the law, if you're in Magos battle plate, you're immune to haywire fields. Magos Dominus battle plate, correction.
First, you have to get that plate.
Also, the limbs themselves still work. It's all the important internal bits that don't.
Exactly. So if you have a metal heart, and as the thing stops pumping blood, break that.
If you have bionic lungs, though, you're fine because they don't replace your lungs; they just upgrade them.
But what if they replaced your heart?
Then you're kind of fucked, and that's your fault.
Exactly, like I said.
For having your heart shot off.
Hey, it's +1 armor point and sprint.
But if that fails, lack of oxygen to the brain damage,
You've got
Anyway.
2 minutes before that happens. You'll be fine.
I eventually get to Vada to strip down, and while he's doing it, I'm making sure to have gloves and at least a mask, so I don't breathe in anything that comes out of the suit. And I'm making sure only Felicia helps me. I'm making sure Sarah just stands by and watch and doesn't allow him to use his powers.
I'm gonna say that Felicia's scanner still picks up that some of the gases coming out of their suit appear to be essentially gaseous forms of certain combat stimulants.
Okay.
That would do it. Do you want me to roll to identify the stimulants?
If you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say you figure out which ones they are. Amongst them, of course, is stim. There's a bit of slot.
We're just waiting for this guy to pass out.
Do we manage to get him completely out of his suit?
Yes. And you very clearly notice that he has mechanical legs and mechanical arms.
I'm gonna do
And
it.
that there is.
Sorry.
And you also see what might have been the reason the armor was unwilling to let go. Like, he has like a sort of
And I'm gonna do a full like physical exam on him, also checking for anything hidden and anomalies. I'm gonna do a full like physical exam on him, also checking for anything hidden and anomalies.
do you have
physical exam
the
on
same
him,
sort of
also
medical
checking
scanner
for
as
anything
Felicia?
hidden and No, I do not, but I would
Do
have
you
Felicia assist
have
me with that.
the same.
I can roll to assist, although it might be better to do it the other way around,
Sure.
just because you've already rolled. Medicaid perception?
Yes.
Actually, did I get any bonuses from the medikit?
It's
No.
got scanners in it.
It got scanners in it? Oh, if it does have scanners in it, then I wouldn't need actually Felicia's help. But I'd still ask for it because,
Yeah, we've got the more advanced ones, and they've got diagnostic stuff. Although technically, I am a walking, talking diagnostic suite. But yeah, I'll roll.
The thing I mean by you as scanner help is that you can also scan sort of technical equipment as opposed to just medical.
But yeah, I'll roll all the bonuses to assist Latilla. And free reroll. What?
I'm just wondering, can you re-roll if you succeed?
Yeah. And I get free reroll anyway from my augur array.
Gotcha.
Yes,
So in this case, Latilla, assume that you take a blood sample. You
I think
and you're mostly just busy checking that. I take it.
And well, again, during a physical exam, I'm also getting a free swab from his tongue when I, stick the
You
the
also
thinking is
get
that.
you also get swab from some. I'm gonna say, Felicia, you take an eye on that bit of an anomalous power reading that you saw. It's not gone away with the armor. It's still like inside him somehow.
My suspicions on cybernetics may be correct. Can I roll tech use again?
Sure.
Hooray, total flip.
It does not match a description of any cybernetic you are aware of or know of. And the way that the energy signature behaves makes you less confident that it actually is some sort of cybernetic thing.
Could I roll Forbidden Lord Tech just to confirm my suspicions?
Sure. Even considering forbidden tech that you've heard of, you can't really think of anything that would produce this sort of signature.
It's going in the report.
As for the blood sample and the swab, as you quickly just scanned them out with the mobile scanner, I assume you brought with you.
Yep, I did.
It basically confirms what you suspected. He has had minor genetic modification, as in he has had the gene stealer DNA implant, but not to the same extent as even a loner.
Okay.
That, or maybe a lot of it has been removed when he got his cybernetics.
Okay. Anything else I should know?
Make me an awareness test, both of you. Or Sarah as well. Like, basically, everyone that's in the room, make me an awareness test.
Okay.
Oh joy. Do we get any bonuses? I don't remember.
22. No, 7. God damn it! It was your dice. I'm gonna fake that.
It's fine.
I'm gonna let Felicia handle that.
Felicia, you just kind of you're looking at your data pads, and just from the corner of your eyes, you think you see something red glowing. You quickly just adjust to look at for there, and it's gone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Felicia looks at her data pad, and while she's doing that, she thinks she sees something red glowing from Vader's direction. She looks at him, and it appears to be gone.
What psychic bullshit is this? He has no psi rating right now.
No, but he might. Does he have cybernetic eyes?
You go to check his eyes?
I mean, I can check him with my mechadendrite, yeah. But yeah,
He does not have cybernetic eyes.
damn, that rules out a baleful eye.
I was gonna say, if he has one of them, I'm having it. I will rip it from his corpse myself.
Wait.
He lost one during combat, you know.
Did I get anything from his head at all, anomalous, while I was doing the physical exam?
The only thing that the DNA sample does confirm that the genes in the DNA has to some extent enhanced his essentially the capacities of his brain.
I'm just trying to think, what could I roll to figure out what that was?
To be honest, I'm just thinking there's another assassin in this room, like the assassin with us before. And he's actually has a full team of assassins with him in this goddamn prison cell. So, joy. But that's just my paranoia.
Awareness with the auger array?
You do remember that you missed her, right?
Yeah, but I got pretty close quite a few times, and it's just that she has crazy bonuses. Which I can now get. Also, she can disappear from Imperial sensors, which covers auger arrays. But I can roll without the auger array. Paranoia.
Did I have paranoia? I don't remember if I got that.
Aren't you a Death Welder? Don't you get Death World paranoia?
I think I don't remember how different that is, though. I do remember it wasn't the same.
Yeah, it is. I mean, technically, I'm constantly vigilant, which is another type of paranoia.
Because the F4 one is paranoid, the one you got is paranoia. The one I get doesn't really help with that.
I don't actually have paranoia, I'm just paranoid at the moment. So I may as well see if I can spot something without using the auger array.
Anyways, is there anything else you want to test of him, or do you help him get his power armor back on?
Wow, that's a very good awareness.
You try to do the same thing, but this time you don't go to look directly at there. You try to keep basically a vision of him in your peripheral vision, and you again notice something red glowing. But this time you sneakily move your mechadendrite in such a way and it doesn't look like it's looking at you have a optical mechadendrite, right?
Yeah, I got optical mechadendrite, auger array,
okay.
the works.
Yeah, okay. So it doesn't exactly appear to be looking in Vader's direction, but you slowly, such a way maneuver it that it actually does. And yes, you can fully well tell that and that whilst he's scanning what you are all doing, that his eyes are indeed glowing red.
It's going in
And
the
then
report that I.
it fades again.
Yeah, I think it's going in the report that I suspect he has a baleful eye.
Despite not discovering any cybernetics in his eyes.
He's got to have something like a heretical form of baleful eye for red glowy eyes. It's the only thing that makes sense to Felicia.
Oh, he's possessed.
She doesn't know. Remember, she might have been on a demon planet, but she doesn't actually have any knowledge about demons. Just
Neither
makes
do I.
this.
This is out of character. Sorry. It's just like, yeah, he's probably possessed. One or the other. One bad thing or the other. Well then. Sarah, would you like to ask anything to the good man over there here? Felicia, have you completed your scans?
You look at Felicia; she's already at the door, waiting, ready to get the data with the data slate. Gonna go write up the report.
I don't think he has any answers to give.
Well, maybe.
Not the ones I'd be interested in anyway.
Did Felicia help Vader go back into his suit?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I, before I leave, can I take a quick look at the Vader sword without touching it?
You can have a look at their sword, yeah.
Awareness?
Sure. Awareness is not going to give you much, but...
I don't have anything else. I don't have a scanner.
Scrutiny?
Like Felicia does. Scrutiny? Yeah, actually, I think I have scrutiny. Can I reroll?
Is it a force
actually,
sword?
It would be the same target, same roll, so I didn't pass. Hello there, thank you for your time. And I'll leave the room. Jay, just to confirm, the blood sample I got does not tell me he's pregnant with gene stealer babies, right?
No, it does not. It tells
Good.
you that he might have in the past once received the same modifications as Lona and the assassin, but that they have either severely degraded, were never fully implemented, or have been largely removed when most of his body was removed by cybernetics at one point.
Okay.
You are not certain which of the three it is.
Okay.
And everything I discovered got summarized in a report from Magnus.
Are you telling me you're not gonna send me the report, Alicia?
You get a report after Magnus. It's like 5 minutes later.
Hmm.
Felicia's petty. She sends out the report 5 minutes later.
Well, I'll take note of everything I saw. I'll also pass along to Magnus. And just say, yeah, not pregnant with gene stealer babies, but, he's still fucking weird.
Sometime later, in Magnus's office, a servitor brings yet more data slates. Magnus sighs, lights another low stick, and carries on reading. Out of curiosity, how many days in the warp did the navigator say it was going to be? Or the captain?
Let me quickly roll. Oh my days. There we are.
So, for entertainment's sake, guys, I forgot to get it again.
You've rolled. The navigator says that the warp current has become very unfavorable all of a sudden. It is going to take a total of 66 days to get back to the Elizaro system.
Jesus.
What the?
Hooray for the estimate rules. I love these.
Magnus
Yes, sir.
sighs, looks up at all the data slates, looks round at all the books that he has to read. I don't think there was quite so much reading involved. Takes another report.
Eventually, he gets to Felicia's report because everything's marked as priority, and then Felicia's is like, "You need to see this," but when you get round to it, so it's probably the only thing in the pile not marked urgent.
Wouldn't Mechanicus know that if everything is priority, nothing is a priority?
Yeah, but
But
here's the thing: the mechanics aren't the ones sending these reports that are marked urgent.
if after Lutilla got your report, she would probably incorporate it into her own, and Lutilla would color code it stuff for Magnus whenever she sends it. So this would be max priority.
I'm just thinking there's a lot of shit you need to know to be an Inquisitor, and Magnus is just like reading up all the big books. Then there's all the data slates telling him about the Sons of Electo's kill to death ratio, their hit performance, it's going to be ship supplies, it's going to be warp travel, that nonsense, this nonsense. I imagine in our minds an Inquisitor is an amazing idea, but in reality there's like lots of paperwork, lots of fuck's sake, fill out another report for someone to requisition some crap.
Finally slammed into the wall of reality, eh?
If you ever want to realize how stupid Inquisitors could be, just look at the Rupert from the old Guardsman party.
True.
Look, Rupert was amazing, and don't you
He
dare
is one of the
talk
he is one of the
about
he is one of the he is one of the best they got, but he is not one of the most competent they got.
Look, that's what Alfred is for.
Yes, very much so.
So apparently, since we're spending 2 months on this ship, I'm gonna be painting.
I guess I can produce myself armor instead of buying it. I love this. It's like I've forgotten to requisition things so many times that Felicia just ends making it.
Yeah. If you guys want, we can just time skip the entire thing, the entire warp travel.
If it's actually 60 plus days, Lutilla is going to spend most of her time
We don't know
studying in the
until
library too.
You're all on the level where if you asked, the captain would tell you. You've all been given that kind of level.
Oh no,
of
I meant
clearance.
in terms of how navigator travel works.
About 20 days into the warp travel, the navigator does announce that the travel has become, the currents have become more favorable. It will no longer take 66 days, it will now only take 50 days, meaning that you have 30 more days to go.
Yay, navigators!
Yeah.
Oh joy.
Do we have the
I
patent for
hate
making
warp
flak
travel.
helmets?
You can look at the flak helmet of one of the guardsmen on board.
Then I need to make a flak helmet.
Okay.
I mean, I could requisition a flak helmet, but I somehow get the feeling it'd be easy to make one. So let's finally get me a helmet.
One thing of note, though, is that Ulfthane remains unconscious for the entirety of the time.
And then the mysterious drop in servitors falling over.
They stop falling over as frequently, yes.
I would check whole thing every day. And is his condition unchanged, or did something change along the way?
His body does not seem to show any physical degradation or anything, but the anomalous brain activity persists.
Okay. Also, that Medicaid was for low stakes. You check in and make. Okay.
I'm just gonna assume that.
I would take blood samples from Wolfing and make sure they don't have any gene stealing.
They show no sign of gene-seeded corruption.
Good,
I
good.
just, I just assume then that I make a flak helmet during this time.
Yeah.
It's like 12 successes, 1d10 hours. Eventually I will get that flak helmet.
Over 50 days.
Anyone else
Felicia.
want to do something in these days furthermore?
I'm going to say that Magnus is going to stick to the books. I'll have him roll intelligence just to give us an idea. It goes over his head. A lot of the reports, he's just reading them like, okay, fair enough.
If Magnus asks, Sarah would attempt to help him explain some concepts.
Magnus just goes with it. He's just like, oh well, they don't really need me to sign off on this. I read it. It's okay. Yeah, Magnus wouldn't inform Vidare. I don't think there's anything that we could talk about. I think we've gone over everything, so yeah, I'm good.
Occasionally, the Sun's Collector will keep giving reports about what Vidare is doing. They at one point get a bit paranoid over the fact that literally all he seems to be doing is sitting cross-legged in his room with his power armor.
Also, Magnus will have in the report that Thingy had the combat stims like just airborne inside his suit environment.
He's high on battle sims all the time.
Well, one thing I would allow you to notice when his power armor was off, that his power armor does contain several like dispensers of it. So like his armor can dispense him probably when he gives some sort of mental command for it or something.
Magnus does get a bit of a... Like, he would probably have a bottle of Amasec brought up to his office once he starts reading the medical reports about Vidare. And that's probably at a point where he'd like message the old man to see if he wanted to come for a drink and realise that he's still out. And yeah, Magnus would be a bit down that a warrior who's given up so much has basically had his group betray the foundations of what... Because Vidare must have been an Imperial citizen at one point. He must be inducted to the Imperial Creed. Poor bastard. Oh well.
I assume the medical report also indicates the many scars and augmentations that he has.
I did a full medical scan, the physical checkup. Even the one where, you have to, strip naked, blow your fingers, do the thingy.
You mean the one that would get probably just, yeah, we've got scanners for that, we've got diagnostics.
Oh no, I'm doing everything. Because anything that is different, I'll take notes down, because, anomalies.
He lost a testicle. God, Emperor, damn it. Poor man.
He has no testicles.
Bah, the Emperor. This man has given so much for the raccoons and yet been so betrayed.
Dear me. Oh, at least that's a favor to the gene pool.
To lose
Oh,
your
boy.
gene seed. Disgraceful.
Yeah, one of the most awkward things in the medical report might have been that it appears that at one point in his life, Vidare has been castrated. Physically.
Well.
No crying over spilled milk, as they say.
It turns out his voice is just the product of a very slightly edited vocal implant that's only purpose is to make his voice insanely deep. That's literally all the anomaly is. It's just a weird vocal implant.
I bet he has a lovely singing voice. Well, I shall endeavour to inform the Lord Inquisitor, I suppose.
And can I try and requisition a mechadendrite during the trip?
No.
Okie dokie.
That's when we
So-
hand Vidaire over to the Lord Inquisitor.
Speaking of which, if nobody has any objections to that anymore, we will skip to when you arrive in the Alazara system. Once more, you broadcast the signal that essentially gives you the all clear. There are notably less ships in the system, but the Lord Inquisitor's capital ship, as well as that of, as well as a small number of vessels still surrounding his, still remain in system.
Magnus would have a message sent to the Lord Inquisitor's ship, informing him that we have Vidaire. He is in our custody. Magnus would also send over the reports about his health, his augmetics, and he'd have a little note at the bottom that Magnus has treated him well so far. He is still in his power armor with his weapon. Is this acceptable, or would you like him imprisoned and stripped?
A message comes back from the Eternal Conviction, requesting additional confirmation that Vidaire is indeed on board, and if he has caused any problems getting on board your vessel or during the travel.
Magnus will send back another message. Slight incident getting Vidaire on the ship was handled. No incidents during travel. Vidaire is aboard, awaiting new orders.
You were giving docking permission with the Eternal Conviction.
Okay, then Magnus would inform the captain to dock with the Inquisitor's vessel. He had informed the captain of the Sons of Electo to prepare his men, that they will be escorting the prisoner off the ship and back to the Lord Inquisitor's ship. I'm guessing they're off the ship now, like they came with us, did their mission, and then they'll be leaving.
They'll leave with him currently off the ship. They won't be back on yet. No. Attila, do you have anything that you might consider an appropriate law skill that might figure out what the red eyes were?
Could I
Other
roll
than
Archaeotech?
No, I don't.
No, could I
Other
roll
than-
Archaeotech for it after
Okay,
reading it in the report?
I mean, the only reason I didn't roll is because I didn't think Forbidden Law Tech or Adeptus Mechanicus, either of them were really appropriate.
I mean, if this is psychic, warp heresy, demonology maybe, or if that's a gene stealer thing, I can maybe roll Corporaptor Homini.
Let's put
You
it this
only-
way. You might all, if you want to, choose one law skill you deem appropriate, and you may roll that.
I'm gonna try and determine if it was psychic, and I'm gonna roll warp.
I'm assuming Medicaid doesn't quite fit, so
It's not a
but
law.
if it... Holy shit. No, I'm gonna
Sarah?
take that.
You were not entirely sure exactly what it could have been, but it does certainly sound like something psychic. which is strange considering you're pretty sure you block off all his psychic potential when you're near him.
Unless he suddenly grew another psi rating.
He's connected to the goddamn hive. Remember? The
I
guy
would
we
still
killed,
block
the
that too,
captain.
like out of character. The way I think it works is it does actually disrupt the connection to the hive mind as well, because
It
Over
does.
this distance in the
psychic.
warp, behind a Geller field, with a... I think so.
Yeah, if it's getting through a Geller field, not even an untouchable stopping that shit, unless like Omega minus.
Let's set up what law did you select?
Scholastic lore infused.
Which one?
I don't know anything that could apply. I just read a lot of books.
What do you think?
I would have thought Xenos. So
Isn't that not a scholastic law?
technically it's the same role for my Forbidden Lord General Xenos, but
Yeah, but you rolled a scholastic law, so
yeah. So
what scholastic law are you technically playing with?
is Acrotech Scholastic?
No,
I think it's forbidden
it's
strictly.
forbidden.
Then never mind my roll.
Technically, there could be like Scholastic Lore Xenos, but I don't think you can sell Archaeotech as Scholastic.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Just ignore my roll.
Okay, if we ignore it, that means you also get your fate point back if you spend it on that score.
Okay.
So I assume that Stormshield docks with the Eternal Conviction.
Yep. The rest of the team would be informed that we'd be docking as well.
That is also brought out of his cell. He walks still he still walks like he has authority. Like it's just a thing about the way he walks. He still has his sword at his side, still in his sheath, but his cloak is sort of like covering over it as well.
I'm still gonna be keeping within 5 meters of him, just to be sure, on the safe side. Still in power armor too.
I would ask that the shield bearers, 2 of them, turn around and face him so they're walking backwards. A test of their skill, plus they're watching him with their shields.
I like how that's the case instead of just having Felicia stand in front of him.
Basically, isn't it best to just have 2 of them looking at what they're and 2 others with their
They're all
looking
leaving.
forward?
All 100 of them are leaving the ship, so they're all leaving in this prison escort.
Because they need to, because they were only with us to pick up the dare.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that the first thing he can attack is 2 people with shields.
Okay. They kind of look at each other strangely at the request, and they just put on their helmets and ask 2 of their brothers, "Can you please put your fucking hand on our shoulders and guide us so we don't walk into anybody?"
Oh sure, I'll say that 2 of them, so they walk back to back. So the ones at the front are leading the ones behind, but they've just got their shields up and are facing the dare,
Yeah, okay.
ready to gang up on him.
Alright. You are led into the Eternal Conviction. All the pathways that you need to get to a would you request to go to a permission cell, or would you request to bring him to the Lord Inquisitor?
I would say I would ask if the Lord Inquisitor has time now to see him, or if he wants him to be placed into a cell for later.
The Lord Inquisitor is willing to see him now, so you can bring him to someone. Not like a heavy detention block, but like a minor detention block. So
Sure. Then we'll take him down to where the Lord Inquisitor asks.
GM, I have one question. If Vader is in fact quote unquote infected, would my knowledge of gene stealers, like, would it be enough to assume that he does have connection to the hive mind?
you're not sure if the raccoons technically. You know the raccoons probably aren't connected to like the Tyranid hive mind, but you're not even sure if the raccoons have a sort of hive mind of their own. You
Okay.
don't know that. But yes. So you bring Vader into this relatively large, spacey but very barren detention room that has not been, well, doesn't really have anything in it yet. Um, and the Sons of Electo slowly start filtering out of the room, if you allow it.
Magnus won't stop it.
Okay. So you are left alone in the room with Vader. When after the last of the Sons of Electo leaves, the Lord Inquisitor steps through the door. And when the Lord Inquisitor steps through the door, this is the first time you physically see Vader be taken aback by something, because his first instinct, the moment you notice it, is that the moment the Lord Inquisitor steps into the room and walks towards him, is that Vader actually like almost shuffles a step back and then falls to his knee and bends his head. Bows his head, sorry.
I'm just gonna mutter, not so confident now, are you?
My lord, I hope this
As
time
as
has you well.
Vader keeps his head about low, but as he hears you say this, Sarah, he does slightly look at your direction and just says, "If you could see the magnitude of power in front of you, you would not be so ignorant or arrogant, sister."
I am
Who was
not
that?
your sister. And don't you ever forget that, traitor.
He does not give a further response. Lord Vader Raccoon, I assume. A curious time you have picked to turn traitor to a rogue trader house that all records indicate you have served loyally for 50 years. Though perhaps in the grand scheme of things, 50 years is not a long time. It is still remarkable that Salvatore Raccoon's most favorite general would be able to turn traitor to his cause without him realizing it. Vader does not answer. I heard he had not caused trouble on the way.
No, my lord. He was content to stay in his cell. Although, my lord, I will add, I had your sons look after him in a manner. They were uneased by the fact that he chose to remain sat still. Plus, the reports from my acolytes inform me that there's something strange with his eyes. He seems to have a power that allows him to do something. They mentioned a red hue on his eyes.
Has his body been checked fully?
It was, and there was only one anomalous reading from what my acolytes could tell me. Something they
I
could
am
not.
very well aware of what sort of scans usually are undertaken. Has he been physically inspected everywhere? Every inch of his body?
Magnus looks over at brother Felicia and Latilla, kind of.
I would have done that. I did specifically say I was doing every physical exam
Yeah,
I
we
could
didn't cut
do.
him open.
I wasn't going to cut him open. I
My-
can't cut him open.
My lord, we did all physical tests. We stripped him of his power armor. I believe one of my acolytes had used the gift of the Omnisires to scan his body. It is all in the reports. There was nothing too
There was no-
extreme.
Nothing really, even up, his rectum, as far as I could tell.
However, he had undergone certain genetic changes, not as extreme as Miss Alona or the assassin, but he has undergone some genetic altering.
The assassin. And there begins. Was she given the proper burial? Lord Bloodstone.
Magnus looks down at him. I don't know. It wasn't in the report.
I assume she was given the same burial we give to all traitors out of character.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm assuming.
we spaced her, or we spaced her because we wouldn't throw her into a recycling
Or
cycle.
banter.
Maybe she
Technically,
was
Little would have,
already burned.
Little would probably have, done a very thorough autopsy on her, and then just, aimed at her star and spaced her.
Do we, why the concern? Was she dear to you, by any chance?
He does not give any further response.
I scrutinize his look.
He still has a faceplate on!
I scrutinize the noise that he makes. I'll add a -10.
I imagine the body language is very difficult to make out in power armor.
No, I don't get it.
Very difficult to make out in full
Unless you're
power
me,
armor,
who could
yeah.
just sense through it. Admittedly, I'm not doing this because my scrutiny fellowship is bad.
You're not sure why he asked about her.
Character, I assume we checked if she could be a servitor. If she could, we sent her off to be a servitor. If not, we just spaced her.
So she went to
Pretty sure we
Gregorius.
spaced her.
Gregorius was the one who sent me the reports on the thorough autopsy.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
whatever.
and Gregorius didn't specify what he had done afterwards, but there was the odd remark about they shall make good fertilizer.
Oh, that is gonna be a sick burn.
Oh, I wanted
Which
Salvador's
probably
stuff.
means they have either been cremated and the ash has been used, or literally the bodies have just been dumped on some agri-world to be used as fertilizer.
Either way, Magnus wasn't lying when he said he didn't know.
He just has suspicions.
If he's not smart enough, how did he become a general?
Are you hiding, Vader? What are you hiding? The Lord Inquisitor just raises his hand, raises his hand beside him with his palm towards Vader, and you see Vader just look up as the Lord Inquisitor just suddenly just almost as if he's pushing something, and Vader is just thrown back against the wall by some sort of psychic force.
I'm gonna make sure I am not inhibiting Lord Inquisitor in any way. If the room is large enough for me to, not have him within my range.
I'm gonna be
It
enjoying the
is.
show, but also be ready in case anything happens.
Even with your power armor, the force I just used on you should have sent you through the wall, not simply against it. What are you hiding? And Vader is now fully standing up and just. It would seem my plan has failed.
Shield out.
Sword out.
I'm gonna, since I'm usually far away in these occasions, or near Magnus, but in this occasion far away, I'm gonna bring out my special toy.
Light thing on.
Oh no. It's a very, very special toy I got last session. Not last session, last season.
Where you rolling
Which
that
means that perhaps I should make through my deception.
Oh, Emperor, he really was planning to assassinate you, my lord.
Move in front of the Lord Inquisitor.
I was not attempting to assassinate your precious Lord Inquisitor. He has something I desire. But if I cannot take it the way I had intended, I shall take it in a different way.
Permission to fire. I'll
What?
interrupt Vader.
He simply just raises his hand towards you. What, oh Lord Inquisitor, is it you wish to know about Lycones? I am more interested in what it is you are hiding still. I sense something rotten in you. Not merely corruption by genetic material or ideology, no. I sense the taint of the warp on you.
Sarah hardens at that and would definitely stand closer to Vader, so he is within the sword's reach.
Ah, sister. How appreciative I am that you stand so close to me. And suddenly there, he doesn't even draw his sword, but he just extends his hands towards the Lord Inquisitor. And the Lord Inquisitor just suddenly just clutches his head. And Sarah, you somehow feel as if your aura isn't exactly around you anymore.
Magnus charges.
I roll to deny the witch?
Can I fire now?
Can I even do that?
I love how right now everyone's drawing weapons, and there's just like Felicia stood there, like, I think the Inquisitor's got it handled.
Wait, did the Inquisitor just fell down to the ground holding his head? Did I hear
No.
this correctly?
He just clutched one of his hands towards his face and just like, ah.
Okay.
Now
I'm
the
gonna-
weapons get drawn.
But
I'm
about to get
gonna-
a shield to the face.
Can I?
Full aim.
So
I'm getting full aim done.
can I roll something to like get my aura back to me?
Valere just lowers his hands again.
So, can I shoot him now?
If you wanted to know my secret, that is it. And with that, he draws his sword, and then his quick action just slices straight through the wall behind him.
I have a full aim ready on him. Can I fire
You
him
may
now?
shoot. You may
Okay.
shoot. But do you shoot the moment he draws his sword?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Actually, I would shoot him as soon as he made the intention that he's gonna bolt.
Since
Which was
I
drawing
had-
his sword.
Since I had my sword on
Magnus
him,
charges
can I
him.
attack too?
I was the only
Okay.
one who wasn't prepared because I thought the Inquisitor had it handled.
Just 1 second. I need to check one thing.
I assume I do not get aim benefits on that.
Actually, Magnus won't charge. He'll leave this to them. He will combead. Captain of the Sons of Electo. Vidar is attempting to escape. Come back to where we were last. Immediately.
Okay.
GM, do we get any aim on that attack, or
You do not get any aim on the attack,
Okay.
but
I'm gonna go all out if I can.
Attila, you watch in amazement as Vidar, with his
Can-
sword in the motion
Can you
that
just a
he's
question?
cut. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. It's because the Morden Ammo X class is 3d10 key higher steel, pen 10, razor sharp, tearing, and felling.
Yes, but he's probably got ability, which means he just bats things aside before it hits.
I'm just wondering if I take at least a massive chunk of the sword away as I'm shooting.
How
No,
does
because as you notice, the sword starts crackling with just red energy surrounding it,
Fuck, it's a side sword.
how
and
does
the bolt.
one
and the bullet
parry
just deflects off it.
bullets?
I think there's an actual trait that allows you to do that.
What weapon? What
Vidar,
weapon lets you ignore the laws of physics entirely?
Vidar, there's 100 power armored soldiers coming back here. Surrender.
He
Like in
just-
Farganel.
He just, with this other arm, just pulls aside one of the scraps of the wall and just jumps into the hole behind him.
I'm gonna attack.
He is already falling down the hole
As he was
can't
pulling it.
behind him. Okay, go ahead.
And I'll weapon tech.
Okay.
Also, kind of a meta question, but
I assume no half aim.
You can get a half aim.
I assume he doesn't have warp instability.
No, he does not have warp instability.
I had to try.
And I assume he's got combat master or something, so no ganging up.
He has combat master, yes. amongst
See?
those things. He's going to attempt to parry again.
I should have flamed him with my exterminator. Oh well.
He just catches your power axe, and in the same motion, he's going to make a counterattack.
And I can't parry technically because it's in the middle of my turn.
I think you can parry a counterattack. As long as you have a reaction.
It's like
You technically still have your reactions, so you can technically dodge or parry this.
let's parry this.
Dodge it, dodge it.
My dodge is worse than my parry.
Oh no, you've got a power. You've got a thingy.
My power weapon's worse for parrying. I got a parry with Mechadendrite, which is defense, which I think is plus 15. I'm just checking that now.
This calls for
Yep.
combat music.
Alright, I'll pull up some combat music.
That would
It's
have
like-
if that had hit you, that would have hurt like balls.
But yeah, it's like he swings at, I swing at him, he parries, swings at me, and then I just block with a Mechadendrite.
Yeah. And with that, he just jumps down. Latilla, you may take another shot, but you won't have a full aim on this.
Okay. I just hope he has a penalty since he's falling and it's not as easy to parry while you're falling.
Wait.
He uses reaction, he can't dodge.
How far
That
down
is-
is he falling?
That's true, that too.
You don't know.
Why does the Lord Inquisitor
So,
have a giant
with-
fucking chasm?
With my half turn, I will just say, once as Vidare's falling and Sister Latilla's about to fire, look how far down he
Oh.
goes.
That's not the best shot I ever did. But he already used his reaction, hasn't he? So,
He is going to attempt to dodge nevertheless.
He's got step aside.
is that step aside? But he's falling!
He gets hit nevertheless, though.
Ooh, yes! Unfortunately, the razor shot doesn't trigger, but you know.
And what is Lord Inquisitor doing?
The Lord Inquisitor is slowly just regaining
Wow.
his senses, it would seem.
That's a very bad roll.
You see the bullet just. Where did you hit him? 88. That is the.
Leg.
As he's falling, essentially, as he's jumping, you shoot him in the leg, and he just. You see the bullet just go straight through his power armor. But he still jumps nevertheless.
I don't know what felling 10 does, but you know.
Felling 10?
Yeah, I think this is against unnatural.
Yeah, if it has a natural toughness, it rips it to shreds.
Yeah.
Which basically means that if you fire this thing at, for instance, a demon, it ignores all the demonic extra toughness.
Yeah. Also, if I can fire again, I'm gonna fire again because I have an
He's
armor
falling now.
on this baby.
You can't fire again. He is dropped down the. He's dropped down the hole.
The one
Lord
time I want
Felicia, check the hole, see how far he goes. My lord, how can we assist? The Sons of Elector will be here soon.
I look down the
Leave
hole.
this to me. As the Lord Inquisitor suddenly just, as he seems to have basically snapped out of whatever the dare did to him, you see him just walk forward, and you see those wings appear again, but this time they do not appear spectrally. He just full out wings as he jumps in after the dare.
Oh boy.
Magnus
look down
calls
the
out a
pit.
grappling hook and line,
Can
just
I
like,
see the?
Magnus, next time I tell you I'm going to strip him down and take away his weapons, please, please, please listen to me.
yeah, Magnus starts attaching the grapple to the, and looks down. It's like, maybe not, maybe not.
there are a few combat screams from down there. And then after about 15 minutes, it all goes quiet.
The Sons
Oh,
of
we're going
Electo
down
turn
there.
up before the 15 minutes
They-
are over?
Yes, they turn up and they're like, what can we do?
The Lord Inquisitor needs your aid. He is fighting the Dare down there. And Magnus points. They know the facility better than him.
They simply just all point their weapons down there, but they do not fire.
When I looked down there, did it look like I could actually safely drop? Or was it infinite pit?
It's probably infinite depth.
It
That's
looks,
why.
it looks like it looks like a maintenance elevator shaft.
That's
Damn it,
why
the one time I need to manipulate a mechadendrite to climb. Or
Did it look
the...
like the ones we... No, we wouldn't. No, we didn't look down. Is it kind of like the ones we went down in the elevator that took like 3 days?
That was on the
6 days.
planet, so no, but
Could I climb down?
technically yes. There is a large cable in the middle for the elevator itself.
I'm gonna take the stairs down. Just inform me where the there is, as I switch the rounds.
Yes. However, as the 15 minutes pass, about 5 minutes later, you can hear the of wings. As the Lord Inquisitor just comes up with Vidare essentially hold by the neck in one of his hands, his sword in the other. You also notice that currently his armor is just radiating some sort of gold flare as he basically throws Vidare back into the room.
As soon as I see him, Sarah's just gonna drop to her knees because for all she understands, he just turned into a fucking living saint.
As well as the fact that Vidare no longer has his sword arm, it has been completely cut off.
I was assuming that was cybernetic and I wanted those.
And then the Lord Inquisitor just steps back into the room. The Sons of Electo all just kind of take a step back and will take the sort of just a bowing position. As the Lord Inquisitor slowly, his wings retract, fade away again, and his armor turns into its normal colors again.
Did Latilla see that scene?
I'm pretty sure you left after the thingy jumped down the pit.
Because I did say I was going to run down the stairs and try to go.
Yeah, so
catch
Latilla,
up.
you didn't see that.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Does the Lord Inquisitor look injured?
He does not look injured, no.
We're not the protagonist! Hooray! Not. We're gonna die.
My lord,
He just holds up his hand before you can continue speaking. He just walks over to what appears to be an unconscious Vidare, just puts one of his hands against the helmet, just tears it off, puts his hand against Vidare's head, and Vidare just opens his eyes. They start glowing bright red, and he starts just convulsing. And as you look upon this for, again, what appears to be an eternity as you see this, but it is in reality only about 2 minutes, Lord Inquisitor lets go, and Vidare just goes limp.
Did I get to see any of that?
Lord Bloodstone, whatever you and your acolytes want off of him, take it. I have no further use for his corpse. And he just walks out of the room, and the Sons of Electo immediately follow him.
The vultures fly in.
Yeah.
no sword
Also, the Lord Inquisitor would have also dragged Fidea's other arm with the sword in it back into the room as well.
Do we know what that-
Mine!
Do we know what that's for? Oh, Felicia will actually quite respectfully have it put in a nice box and then stored very securely under Olfkane's bed.
So Inquisitor just fucked off, right?
Yeah, he's
The
gone.
Lord Inquisitor just fucked off with his with the Sons of Elector that showed back up into the room as well.
So Sarah's like, he's a... I'm just gonna roll her a willpower to see how long she's gonna be in that state.
Imagine me and Felicia just jumped in like, take what you want. Of course, my lord. He's out the door like, take that piece off. Take
Did
that piece
anyone
off.
call Latilla?
Yes.
That okay. Latilla, you know that the Fidea has already been dragged back up there, so you can come back.
Yeah, so
It's probably with a slight.
I just wanted to know when I get back. At what point during this, when I get back, and everybody's just Sarah's kneeling down, all struck, but there's dead in the middle of the room, and there are apparently 2 vultures on Vidare's body now.
What?
Scavenging all whatever they could.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My cybernetics, mine!
My power sword. My
Praise the
helmet.
Omnisire!
It's not a power
Look!
sword.
Legs!
You can also clearly tell that if you do a Medicaid scan, the Fidea is very, very dead.
How big is his head? Would his head be larger than a normal human's? Like, if we turned it into a servo skull, could we
Not
pack more
really.
in there? Damn.
Not really.
I'll check it.
However, one thing you do notice when you scan his body is that it does not appear as if he has just died. It appears as if he died a week ago. That's what his body's signature is telling you.
Can I roll demonology to make
By any
sense of
chance,
that?
was it a drug overdose?
If you check what is still in his body, yes, it would appear that at one point during the trip he actually overdosed on combat stims, but somehow still kept on living.
So Magnus.
Magnus looks up
I
from
don't know
his
what-
corpse.
I
Yes.
don't know what the fuck happened here, but is the Lord Inquisitor alright? And next time, please heed my warnings.
The Lord Inquisitor was pissed, grew wings.
She's a saint.
Excuse me?
I've only ever seen living saints doing what Lord Inquisitor just did. It's gotta be the only explanation, surely.
Only living saint. I have a soul sister. Taught me that we should always be careful who we call saints.
But
She was highly paranoid. Trust me.
oh, see, I have no fucking clue what saint you're referring to.
It's part of Little's backstory.
So, here's the thing, sister. I've got no clue what a saint is.
What a living saint is, you mean?
Yeah, so what a living saint is. I know from the good book that, well,
Have you ever heard of Saint Trusses?
Who?
Magnus scratches his head, and I guess there's no point, but he'll do an intelligence test with -20.
They don't teach you about him in the Imperial Court.
Felicia just looks up for a moment. Who? Goes back to looking. Okay, how can I best adapt this power armor so Magnus can use it?
Also, the fact that one of the arms of the power armor has been just straightly cut off.
I can repair that. I have the equipment to repair it.
Magnus gets the
We have
other
the
arm, and
technology.
it's like, can we repair this? Like, he had two arms and 2 legs.
with work, it should be possible, yes.
Oh, that was most certainly impressive.
I tell you what, we'll just get some servitors to bring the whole thing with us. And
By the way, one thing about the armor is that the helmet has been thoroughly crushed.
Oh yeah, and there should also be a massive hole in one of the legs.
Not a massive hole, but it's a very, very precise hole that just goes straight through one part of the leg, through the cybernetic, through the other part of the leg.
So lots of repairs have to be made,
Yes.
but it can hopefully be repaired.
I really need to figure out how to make more of this type of ammo.
Magnus orders a servitor to come and aid us carry our ill-gotten goods away.
Unless there's a pattern for it lost somewhere, I doubt you'll be learning how to make it at any point soon. Without the mechanic studying it, you won't be getting any more ammunition.
Well, that's why I have you for this shit. No,
Magnus, you get a signal on a special microbeat frequency. It simply states that is Lord Inquisitor's voice. Inquisitor Bloodstone.
Yes,
Meet
my
me
lord.
down on the planet's surface in a month's time.
Very well, my lord. I imagine we will stay in orbit, and I'll be with you in a month's time.
There is something in particular he might have been after. So, judging by your capabilities to have retrieved it before, as well as that your vessel will not be where any potential other thieves could consider it to be, I will have the package you recovered transferred back to your ship.
Oh no,
However,
no.
this time, without its cage.
Oh boy.
Did we just get a
Never
demon shoved on our ship?
My lord, pray tell, what exactly was in the box that came from the mercenaries? And you can tell that there's definitely an angry sound as he says mercenaries.
One of my older creations. And though it has been properly sanctified, it still should not fall into the wrong hands.
Very well, my lord. And where would you like this item delivered?
It will be delivered in whatever cargo bay you can most easily secure.
I character, we're just thinking we've got whatever it is, just sat behind the immolator.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to rethink my requisitions.
You thought about your requisitions?
Mm-hmm.
So, I assume we can skip a few days forward then?
Yeah.
Okay,
I assume I can work on the armor to try and fix it.
yes. But also in these few days, after a few days, the signal is given that the shuttle containing the package has been sent on board a small lander craft with a pilot servitor but no other crew. And is currently making for whatever docking bay you have designated for it.
Oh joy. Magnus will ensure that it goes to he'll ensure it goes to whichever docking bay it needs to go to. He'll make sure it's empty, secure, and inform the rest of the party that A package is en route, and he's
Package.
not sure what's in it.
I'll prepare this. Since it's a heavily secure package, I'll prepare a space near the immolator.
I'll get into the emulator and make sure its guns are ready.
That's not what I meant.
Can you even drive the immolator though?
I don't need to drive the emulator, sister. I just need to be able to fire it.
Fun fact, using mounted weapons is actually operate.
Motherfucker.
Also, Felicia has already kind of stated it doesn't need to be on. She doesn't want it on.
Don't tell me to do that. Never tell me that.
Actually, GM, yeah, I definitely am rethinking my requisition choices. Seeing what
We'll
we're
do
seeing.
requisition choices after the end of the session,
Okay.
but we'll round it off quickly. As the package arrives, as the lander arrives, are you all there? Have you allowed any other crew member to be with you when the package arrived?
No, this would be in particular, it would be the group. Then the chief of security would be informed that a delivery is coming to the ship, and I would like security tightened in the corridors, but not actually in the area attached to the. If they're 2 turns away, fine, but keep them at a distance.
I'd also ask. I forget the name of the guy. I think we called him Bob or Tim. The silver guy, which is my head of security.
His name is Jones.
Jones. Bob Jones. Same thing. Jones, have a team ready just in case.
Very well, ma'am.
And then we just have servitors for like the refueling ship before we send it back.
Okay. Out of this lander, you were told that the ship, apart from the servitor, had no other living life forms on it. And the servitor is only partly alive itself, so there were no organic life forms. But what steps out is something you don't expect. Out of the lander steps a metallical construct covered in some sort of strange bone-like armor on a lot of places of his body, and pauldrons covered in just lines of text. And actually, no, the pauldrons have like ornate books on them, and those books are written full of text. Is what it looks like. It has purity seals on it,
And it's fine.
It is about the size of an Adeptus Astartes, and at its hip hangs a power maul.
Is this a Necron?
No,
They're not that big.
it has a. Its face, however, is kind of strange, as it is a face with only a single feature on it, which is a slightly purple glowing sort of mechanical eye.
Just one, yeah.
Greetings. I am the Synthesis Mark IV autonomous construct. I have been assigned to your custody.
By the throne, what the fuck are you? I mean, I
And this is where we get into session.
Internally, it's Felicia's
Can
thinking,
jump conclaves? Really?
I knew it. I goddamn knew it.
internally Felicia's thinking, oh god, abominable intelligence.
Jim.
When he said mechanical construct, I was like, it's either Necron, Menoviron. Oh wait, there's also that one-eyed purple Slaneshi robot.
Jim, you don't know shit.
well.
Oh god.
On that disturbing discovery, we will end the stream there. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. as we go through this madness yet again. Yeah.
I am sorry that everybody watching will have to miss the players watching at me in full paranoia. Just screaming at me.
God, we were cleaning his fuck up all along.
Take care, everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.